Moonbugs! Today I'm going to be doing my very first makeup tutorial, as has been requested by quite a few people now, and the most popular requested look was this one, which I'm going to be doing for you guys today. So the main inspiration behind this was actually when I walked back from work, the street lights, sometimes we get a lot of bats down here, and yeah, I was just inspired by seeing the bats flying past the street lights, thought it was kind of cool. So yeah, that's what is up with the colours. And yeah, I hope you guys like it. Just want to throw it out there, I'm not a makeup artist, I'm not professionally trained or anything. This is just something that I do for fun, and yeah, I like the way it looks. I do go out dressed like this and looking like this, so you know, if you don't like it, you can click the box and sort off. But if you do like it, you can stay tuned and see how I created it. Okay, so I'm starting off this makeup look by using a makeup base. I think it's a really important step, especially when doing such an intense look. The product that I'm using is actually intended as an eyebrow arch enhancing wax. It's from the Freedom Pro HD palette. This is fair medium, although I'm pretty sure that the arch wax is exactly the same colour. It's basically transparent, but I just found that it actually works really well as an eye primer. Using one of my Nancy brushes, this one in particular has quite a wide base, so it's really easy putting down a base colour. And the colour that I'm using, first of all, is Sugarpill's Love Plus, which I am in love with. It's a colour that I use very often. It's very vibrant, and I found with all Sugarpill shades, they last a very long time too. So I'm just patting it on rather than trying to blend it in at all. I find that if I'm patting it on, the colour sticks really well to the base that I've used, and any blending comes later on. You may have noticed that I'm not applying the red colour all over my eye, and I'm actually leaving the inner corners. That's because I'm going to colour in the inner corners using a very beautiful yellow shade, which you will see soon. This brush I'm using in particular is actually a crease brush, but I'm using it for a completely different purpose altogether, just because it's the right size. The eyeshadow that I'm using is another Sugarpill eyeshadow, and this one I believe is called Buttercup Cake, and it's a very vibrant yellow, very beautiful, and it complements the red nicely. As well as dabbing this onto the inner corner of my eye, I'm also making sure that I actually get it underneath the inner corner of my eye as well, just to widen the appearance of my eyes and just give it a really nice vibrant look. And once you've done this, what I like to do is just add a little bit of yellow to the edges of the red just to try and blend it out. It actually blends really nicely into a kind of an orange shade, and I think it just looks nice rather than having quite a heavy set look. So the next colour that I'm using is an Inglot AMC eyeshadow in the shade number 51. They don't have names for their eyeshadows, they all come in numbers. And I don't know if you can tell or not as I'm applying it, but it's actually an orange shade. It is a very similar shade to the red that I'm using. It's just slightly more faded, and I feel like it's a good colour to blend out from the red. And I'm just trying to create almost a smoke in a way. I'm creating a bit more of a wing from the outer corner of my eye. And once you've done that, you want to start taking it towards the edge of your eye socket and just down below the eye. I find a really good way to do this is to actually feel for your eye socket as you're applying it, and as you've just passed the outside of your eye socket, start to drift underneath your eye, and yeah, just keep dabbing it. I find that's a good way to apply it. Some eyeshadows, especially if you use poor quality ones, if you try and use a sweeping motion, you're going to end up with a lot of fallout, so I find that patting it for now is the best way to do it. So now that both eyes are looking somewhat symmetrical, I'm just going in with that Buttercup Cake again, just to blend the colours in a little bit more. And I often find that once I've added the yellow, the orange stands out a lot more as well, which looks really good. Now I'm going in with a Zoeva blending brush. This shade is actually the Love Plus, which I used earlier, but I've just added a tiny little bit of black to the brush as well, just so I can kind of intensify that almost, it's not a smoky eye, but I just want to darken the edges a little bit. So you'll notice that the red I'm using is slightly darker. I don't have a dark red in my collection, so yeah, I'm just using Love Plus with a tiny little bit of Sugarpill's Bulletproof, which is their black. So now I'm starting to get my blending going on. I'm just going to add some more Buttercup Cake to the upper area of my eye to try and fade out the colours a little bit, and I also find that by lining the red with the yellow it makes the colours look a little bit more intense. And now I'm just going to do some more blending. I'm just going to fade out that angle so it's not quite as harsh as it was before. So going back to one of my Zoeva brushes, this is an angled eyeliner brush, but I use it for a lot of different things. Mostly I use it to do my eyebrows, but it's also really good for using under the eye area just to get some more colour down there, which is exactly what I'm doing again with Love Plus. So now I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of shimmer. This is one of my personal favourite colours. It's one of the loose pigmented eyeshadows by Inglot, and this is in the shade 50. It's been in my monthly favourites and I absolutely love it. So I'm just using my finger to dab a very, very small amount of this all over the area that I've already applied. It just adds a little something something, it makes it look a little bit more glamorous. And yeah, the reason I'm not using a brush is because I don't want the colour to be super intense, I just want that hint of shimmer. The next step is a very important one. It's one that I use for every single makeup look that I ever do, even if I'm just going for something simple for work. I always have gel eyeliner on and I always go for a flick. For this look, I'm going to go for quite a harsh flick, and the product that I'm using is Inglot's gel eyeliner in their black shade, and I'm also applying it using an angled eyeliner brush. This one in particular is a Nanchi one. Now I'm going to apply a black pencil eyeliner to my waterline. To be honest, I don't even know which eyeliner this is. Any old black eyeliner will do. It's not really that important. Okay, so it's mascara time. This is a NARS mascara. It's the NARS Audacious Mascara, which I'm using just to prep my lashes before I go ahead later on and put on some false eyelashes. Now is definitely the most difficult part of this tutorial, drawing on the bats. I'm going for the angled eyeliner brush just because I feel like it's easier to see what you're doing when you're using one that has a bit of an angle. Again, I'm using exactly the same gel eyeliner as I used to do my flicks, which is the Inglot one. And yeah, just be really patient. It is important that you take your time while you're doing it. I'm just bringing my mirror a little bit closer so I can actually see what I'm doing because it was a little bit far away. What I like to do with this look is start out with bigger bats close to my eye, and then as it goes down towards my face I will draw smaller bats. The small bats are very easy to draw, it's pretty much just 2 lines, and as I get further down I like to just loosen the pressure on my hand a little bit, so I'm just drawing very faded bats lower down rather than the harsh black ones further up towards my eye because I feel like it gives a really good effect. Now on to my next eye. I'm not trying to make this symmetrical at all, just because it would take all day, and I don't really think it matters if there are an exact number of bats on each eye. That's not something I'm going to pay attention to. As long as they look somewhat similar, then I feel like I've done a pretty good job. Time for lashes. This is completely optional, but it's something that I like to do with such an intense look. The lashes that I'm using this time are Eldora lashes, and these in particular are the B159s, which I'm a big fan of. They don't look overly fake, but they still give you some extra volume at the same time. And just to kind of finish off my eye look, I'm just adding some more of the Buttercup Cake going underneath my eye and into my inner corners. For my lipstick choice, I've chosen Kat Von D's liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade Vampira. I feel like it's a really good complementary colour for the red tones in this look. So there we have it, my first ever makeup tutorial. Hopefully I did a good enough job for you guys. Please don't be too critical. As I said before, I'm not a makeup artist. This is just something that I do for myself, and yeah, hopefully you all enjoy it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all again next week for a giveaway. Bye guys!